Hello world, it's Gojo4 with you once again. Hope you guys are doing well and having a wonderful weekend. As you guys all may know, the final installment in the Godzilla anime trilogy, Godzilla the Planet Eater, just hit Netflix. And I just finished watching it. And I'm going to give you guys my short, spoiler-free reaction. So just my first thoughts. But obviously, I will be releasing a more comprehensive, full-on movie review that will really get into the nitty-gritty of my thoughts on the whole, and I'll go over the whole plot and my whole critiques of it and everything like I usually do. But this is just my first very fresh thoughts. They're very raw, and no spoilers, just overall reaction. I'll briefly explain the plot. As the second film ended, Godzilla City on the Edge of Battle, our heroes had destroyed the Mechagodzilla city and the nanometal that was gonna kill Godzilla but also destroy the whole world. So now at the beginning of this film, our heroes are recovering from that, and there's a lot of mistrust going on, and our heroes now are wondering what to do, and there's distrust between the Bilizaldo and the other races as well. And Metphys thinks he has a solution for everything, and he wants to bring in his god, King Ghidorah, and use him to defeat Godzilla. But the movie's called Planet Eater for a reason, right? And I won't delve too much into it, but let's just say King Ghidorah isn't really on humanity's side. And I would say that overall the film is actually, I would say it's better than City on the Edge of Battle, but, and maybe even one of the best of the whole trilogy. Really, I'll tell you that now. But there are some things that are very aggravating and frustrating about it that I will definitely explain later. But, it does hold it back from really being potentially what could be the better of the films of the trilogy. And when I mean better or best, I don't mean like great, I mean in comparison, at the scale and quality of this trilogy is what I mean. Because this movie's maybe, I would say it's overall, it's good. It's definitely not great. And who knows, maybe I'm saying that in comparison to City on the Edge of Battle, which I had a lot of issues with, a lot of people did, and just the overall quality of this trilogy. If this was the very first anime film that we ever saw, I probably would have been a lot harsher on it. But at this point, we're 3 movies in, the bar has just considerably dropped less and less, so maybe I'm being easy on it, So I could say I enjoyed it in the sense that I wasn't totally disappointed. In the sense that I went, wow, some parts are really good. And King Ghidorah was I don't want to say much, and I'll get into this later, but I just want to say King Ghidorah is cool to look at. He's different. He's very different in this film, and not what you expect, but definitely a threat, and definitely very powerful and really interesting, and some cool concepts they went with. Just wish they would have, as always, given us more. And and of course the characters, well, I mean, there's a bit of interesting development and growth, and like I said, Metphys' role in this film and Haru's role in this film, they're better, they're more developed because maybe we've grown to kind of like them, even if we didn't care much for them before, but now we've kind of, they're not bad, and I've really grown to the scientist dude, I always forget his name, but I actually really liked him in this film, and I don't know, it's just like, again, I don't want to say much, but there is some interesting role the characters play that really makes this a character-driven trilogy, even though it's about giant monsters. It's really the characters, I don't want to say human, because they're not all human, but the non-monster main characters are the ones that drive the plot, not the actual giant monsters. Now, I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. It's, there's different ways to tell a giant monster story. But, so it's an interesting final chapter that I think is one of the better made films in the trilogy, but has some very frustrating elements that I do think hold it back from being the best of the trilogy. And I think going in, I don't know if, it's not a disappointment like City on the Edge of Battle, I think, but I would say don't get your hopes up that this is going to be the best Godzilla anime thing you've ever seen, that really, like, in your head, when you imagined they were going to make a Godzilla anime, and you were like, oh, okay, and you imagine this awesome thing. Don't expect that. In comparison is what I mean. Keep that in mind. This is all relative to the rest of the movies in this trilogy. And which in a way is kind of a shame if you really wanted, like I did, like I had said before, I wanted a cartoon series, an animated series like we used to get the Hanna-Barbera, like the G98 series. And I'm really hoping if Godzilla King of the Monsters does well, and the Ultraman anime series is good and does well, we'll eventually get an actual Godzilla animated series, which is what we really want. I think other people want one as well. It's what I want. It's what I want to see. And so I'm hoping that we can get more of that, because this anime trilogy, it wasn't awful, but in comparison, relative to what we expected and what we wanted, I think it was a bit of a disappointment, really, I'm going to say. But anyway, City Planet Eater, I would say good. Not a total disappointment, but frustrating in some parts. And I'm just glad to be done. I don't want to watch another Godzilla anime film. I'm kind of done with these. I really, unless they give us something totally different that is actually more of what we want, or an actual series, I do not want or care to see another Godzilla anime film for a very long time. So anyway, that's the matter on that. Look forward to, hopefully as soon as possible, my actual full-on review of the film. And the other thing I wanted to just briefly comment on is, like about 2 days ago, Jakks Pacific, the toy brand that did one of the big Godzilla figures for Godzilla 2014, has unveiled photos of they're doing a whole lineup of toys for Godzilla 2019. And they're doing a whole bunch of toy sets and some other Godzilla figures as well. They're doing a figure of Rodan and King Ghidorah, and then they've got these little monster toy sets where like Godzilla and Rodan, or Godzilla and Mothra, Godzilla and King Ghidorah, and these little, kind of like the Destruction City sets. And of course, I think, I'm not a huge fan of these little toy set things. These are toys for a younger audience. Now, I know we're very childlike anyway, but I mean, some things it's like, okay, some things I do enjoy, but like this is almost a little too not for me. I want something a little bit more like vinyl figures and something like that, not just mini little toy figure sets. I want something a little more. And so, but of course, the big one is I guess it's a spoiler, but not really, because you're going to see it in stores anyway, but then one of these figures is a set with Godzilla and Mothra, and Godzilla's in his burning Godzilla appearance or colors. It's already teased in the trailer anyway, you see it for a split second. And honestly, I don't think it's that big a reveal or big spoiler, because it's like, okay, he's just red and on fire. We don't know why he's in his burning Godzilla mode. We don't know when it's going to happen. The toy doesn't reveal too much about that. So to me, it's not really a spoiler, honestly. And it's cool in a way. Part of me had kind of hoped they would save that for the third film when he fights Kong, and that would have been really cool. Then he comes into, it's the third Godzilla movie, he's kind of, maybe it's the last one, and he's fighting Kong and he's really wounded, and then he goes into his, I don't know, something happens to him and he goes into his burning Godzilla mode, and then I'm like, oh, whoa. But it's fine. Looks like they're going to use it in this film, which makes sense. King Ghidorah is a huge foe. I think Godzilla's going to need all the power he can to defeat King Ghidorah. And that's the other thing, too, is that as for the rest of the figures, they're very small. Like, there's a small King Ghidorah figure, I think it's about 6 inches, but so far there's not really a figure that I really feel so like, oh, I'm going to get it. There is like a 20-inch Godzilla figure, or 20-inch head to, one of those things where it's like head to tail, which does look actually pretty nice. I like the quality of it. And if they make one of those in the Burning Godzilla form, I'm gonna be very tempted to buy it. But what I'm really looking for now is like some kind of large King Ghidorah figure that isn't the SH Monsters one, because that one is, I think, a little too far outside my price range right now. So, and I'm hoping NECA will come through too with figures for us, and Bandai Japan or Bandai Creation and smaller vinyl figures. But it's really cool to see the toys, and it's cool to, you know, the marketing is starting, and like I said, Toy Fair is right around the corner, so there'll be more reveals then. But you guys let me know, are you excited for the figures? Do you like any of them? Do you plan on pre-ordering them? And then what do you think of, I'm gonna just say it, the Burning Godzilla? Let me know. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video, and hope you guys have a good weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Wasn't that juicy?